Well, blessings on this Sabbath day. Awesome day. Awesome day. Well, I missed PJ's service last night. He wasn't in town, so I always look forward to the Sabbath day service that he has. I love to hear the shofar blow. Well, but I pray for his safety and all that he's doing. But before I give this teaching that I've been studying, I want to give a brief testimony about Tina and Joyce. You know, I told you that Joyce had those black round growths on her foot, and I asked you all to pray, and prayed for the blood to, you know, because it had blood supply to it itself like a wart does, but it wasn't a wart. I still don't know what it was, but anyway, asking that the blood supply would be cut off, that they would dry up and fall off. Well, guess what? They did. God heard the prayer. Period. Even amazed the doctor. Isn't he wonderful? Isn't he wonderful? That prayers was answered and healing took place, and now she doesn't have to have foot surgery. Wonderful. We serve an awesome God. But you know, in Ecclesiastes, as Solomon wrote that, he was in great sorrow, but he says there's nothing new on the earth. What has been will be again, and on and on. And we know that the Old Testament is the types and shadows of the things in the New Testament. What has happened before will repeat itself in the future. Well, what we have discovered, Tina and I, and she's not here with me today, but going back to the book of Judges, and I felt led to read this to you. It's 2 chapters I'm going to read to you about Deborah. This is important. Remember, what has happened will happen again in the last days. It's like a foreshadowing. This happened at this time in a smaller detail, which was pretty large for them, that will happen in a mighty detail in the last days over there. So let's read in Judges chapter 4. And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of God when Ehud was dead. And the Lord sold them into the hands of Jabin, king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazor, the capital of whose host was Caesarea, which dwelt in Harosheth, Harosheth of the Gentiles. And the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, for he had 900 chariots of iron. 20 years of mighty opposed the children of Israel. 20 years he had mightily opposed the children of Israel. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lampadath, she judged Israel at that time. The first and only woman judge over Israel. And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah between Raham and Bethel in Mount Ephraim, and the children of Israel come up to her for judgment. And the Deborah that we're talking about, you can go over in Genesis 35 and 8, find out that there was a Deborah that was a handmaiden to Rachel, had died and was buried there in this place where Deborah sat and judged. Let's go on. And she sent and called Barak. What? We know a Barak, don't we? The son of Abram of Kedesh, Naphtali, Nephtali. That's a tribe of Israel, one of the 12 tribes of Israel, and said unto him, Hath not the Lord God of Israel commanded, saying, Go and draw towards Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of children of Nephtali and the children of Zebulun, 2 tribes. That's Zebulun, 2 tribes of the 12 tribes of Israel. And I will draw unto thee to the river Kishon, Kishon, and Sisera, Sisera. Now that's a river, people. I went and looked it up, and it runs through the valley of Jezreel, right down through Israel. But it runs right through the through the valley of Jezreel, where the Battle of Armageddon will be fought. I believe that the Battle of World War III will also be fought there. That's about to happen. The captain of Jeroboam's army with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him unto thine hand. And Barak said unto her, If thou wilt go with me when I go, but if thou wilt not go with me, then I will not go. So he was saying, I'm your captain and I'll go, but you have to go with me. You're the judge. You know, you're the judge over the children of Israel. You have this authority, and I won't go unless you go with me. Now, another important thing, when I looked it up, Deborah was from Ephraim, from that tribe of Ephraim and Manasseh. She was from the tribe of Ephraim, which is very important. And Barak was from the tribe of Naphtali. Okay? These are both very important things to talk about. And she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thy honor, for the Lord shall sell Sirius into the hands of a woman. You know, back in those days, that's pretty low, you know, when God gives a kingdom over to a woman's hand. And Deborah rose and went with Barak to Kedesh, which is a river that runs through the valley of Jezreel. And Barak called Zebulun and Nephtali, these 2 tribes, to Kadesh, that river, and he went up with 10,000 men at his feet, and Deborah went up with him. How Hebron the Kenite, Kenite, which was of the children of Yahvh, the father-in-law of Moses. See, this guy come from the father-in-law of Moses, and served himself with the Kenites, Kenites, and pitched his tents in the plain of Zaanaim, which is by Kedesh river. Okay? And they showed Zerah that Barak, the son of Abram, was going up to Mount Tabor, And Zerah, Mount Tebal overlooks the valley of Jezreel. You got to understand that. You got to go get on your maps and you got to look at these destinations. You can't just read the word. You got to search it out. And Sarah gathered together all his chariots and every 900 chariots of iron and all the people that were with him from Horse, Harosheth, of the Gentiles unto the river of Karnesh. And Deborah said unto Barak, Up, for this is the day in which the Lord has delivered Sisera into thy hand. Is not the Lord going out before thee? So Barak went down from Mount Tebal, and 10,000 men after him. And the Lord discomfited, discomfited, Ceres, and all his chariots and all his hosts with the edge of the sword before Barak. As the Ceres lighted down off his chariot and fled away on his feet. So he got scared. Man, he's gone out. He says, I'm getting out of here before this is bad. So, but Barak pursued after the chariot and after the host unto Harosheth of the Gentiles, and all the host of Ceres fell under the edge of the sword, and there was not a man left. Howbeit Ceres fled away on his feet to the tent of Jael, the wife of Hebron the night. For there was peace between Jebin and the king of Hazorah, and the house of Hebrah and the night. And Jael went out to meet Sisera, and said unto him, Turn in, my lord, turn to me, fear not. And when he turned in unto her in the tent, she covered him with a mantle. Made him warm, secured him, gave him comfort, And he said unto her, Give me, I pray thee, a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. And she opened a bottle of milk and gave him drink and covered him. She didn't give him water. She gave him milk. Warm milk. They didn't have ice boxes that day. But, the best way to sleep at night is to drink a warm cup of milk and cover up, and it helps put you to sleep. That's what was going to happen here. Again, he said unto her, Stand in the door of the tent, and it will be when any man doth come and inquire of thee, say, Is there any man here? And thou shalt say, No. So he's telling her to lie, Go stand at the door, and somebody come looking for me, just say, No, there's no man here. Then Jael, Hebron's wife, took a nail of the tent, took a hammer in her hand, and went softly unto him, and smit the nail into his temple, fastened it into the ground, for he was fast asleep and weary, so he died. So see, the milk and the covering comforted him. He was at peace, so he went to sleep, sound asleep, because he was tired. If you've ever went to sleep after you were really bone tired, and when you go to sleep, you're asleep, you're in deep sleep. And behold, as Barak pursued Ceres, Joel come out to meet him. This woman come out to meet him, and said unto him, Come, I will show thee the man whom thou seekest. And when he came into her tent, behold, Ceres lay dead, and the nail was in his temple. So God subdued on that day Jebin, the king of Canaan, before the children of Israel, and the hand of the children of Israel pursued and prevailed against Jobab, the king of Canaan, until they had destroyed Jobab's kingdom of king of Canaan. So not only were they delivered into one woman's hand, Deborah, but also another woman's hand who killed the king. So now I'm going to read chapter 5. This is important because I believe this is going to happen over there once again. This is a prophecy of the last day battle. Right here in Judges and Deborah's song. Verse 1. They sang, Deborah and Barak, the son of Eben, on the day singing. Praise ye the Lord for the vengeance of Israel, when people willingly offered themselves. Hear, O ye king, give ear, O ye princes. I will sing unto the Lord. I will sing praises to the Lord God of Israel. Lord, when thou wentest up out of Seir, when thou marchest out of the fields of Eden, the earth trembled, and the heavens dropped, and the clouds also dropped water. And the mountains melted from before the Lord, even the Sinai from before the Lord of Israel. Now we know when the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, Yeshua HaMashiach, descends, this is prophecy that will happen at his coming. For the mountains will melt. For at his coming, the earth will tremble at the marching of Yeshua's holy army coming. It will. In the day of Shamgar, the son of Anath, the day of Jael, the highways were unoccupied, and the travelers walked through byways. And you will see that once again. The inhabitants of the villages ceased. They ceased in Israel until I, Deborah, arose, and I rose a mother in Israel. They choose new gods. They chose new gods. And that's exactly what's happening now of all of the world. Not only Israel, but Israel is not come totally back to where they should be. And they've chosen a God other than their true Messiah. See it they do. So listen. Then was the war in the gates. Was there a shield or a spear seen among the 40,000 in Israel? My heart is towards the governors of Israel, and offered themselves willing among the people. Bless ye the Lord. Speak ye that ride on the white horse, white ass. Speak ye that ride on the white ass, ye that sit in judgment, and walk by the way, that thou art delivered from the noise of archers in the place of drawing water. There shall thou rehearse the righteous act of the Lord. There shall they rehearse. This was a rehearsal of what will come when Yeshua comes riding back. Rehearsal, the righteous act of the Lord. Even the righteousness acts towards the inhabitants of his village in Israel. And then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gate. Awake, awake, Deborah. Awake, awake. Utter a song, arise, Barak, and lead their captive, the son of Abram. Then he made him that remaineth have dominion over the nobles among the people. The Lord made me have dominion over the mighty. Out of Ephraim, that's where Deborah come from, was there a root of them against the Amalekites. And there is going to be a leader that will rise up in these last days from the tribe of Ephraim. After the Benjamin, among thy people out of the Masher come down governors out of Zebulun. Then thou handed the pen of the writing, and the prince of Issachar were with Deborah. That's another tribe. even Ascrut, and also Barak. He was sent on foot into the valley. Now we're talking about the valley of Jezreel. For the diversion of Rehoboam, there were great thoughts of heart. Why abidest thou among the sheepfold, to hear the beating of the flocks? For the division of Reuben, there were great scratching of heart. Gad abound beyond Jordan. And why did Dan remain in ships? See, Dan didn't come in to fight. They were out in the Mediterranean in ships. Asher contained on the seashores and abode in his branch, so they didn't come. But Zebulun and Naphtali were a people that jeopardized their lives unto the death in the high places of the field. So these two tribes come to fight and jeopardize their own lives. The king came and fought the king of Canaan in Taanach by the waters of Megiddo, the last battle, the battle of Armageddon. There take no grain of money. They fought from heaven. They fought from heaven. Of course, now they were on the hills and they were coming down, but spiritually, look, they fought from heaven, Yeshua HaMashiach, with the host of the armies of heaven will be descending, and they will fight from heaven. The stars in their courses fought against Sisera. This is talking about the great battle of Armageddon, foretelling of what is going to happen. This happened once, but it's a foreshadowing and a foretelling of that last battle at Armageddon that's coming. That's coming, people. The river of Kishon swept them away. Their ancient river, the river Kishon, O my soul, thou hast trodden down strength. I went and looked up this river and pictures of it running through Jezreel and Megiddo, through that big valley over there. In most places, nothing but like a little creek. In some areas, you could jump across it. So, how can this become a great river that did wash away, did arise and take over and wash these people away? Because this happened in a rainy season. And this river was at flood stage. It was no longer a little creek, but it was a mighty, raging river that come up and overflowed and carried them away. Do you understand what I'm saying? It happened then. It happened then when the host of heaven will come down. I'm telling you, it's going to be in a rainy season. And that little creek will not be a creek any longer. It will be a mighty river as it was in the day that the battle fought in Deborah's time. Okay? There were the house roofs. See, wait a minute. Yeah. The river of Cheresh swept them away. That ancient river, that river Cheresh. Oh, my soul, thou hast trodden down strength. Then were the horse hooves broke by the means of the perishing, and the perishing of their mighty ones. Curse ye, Meroz, said the angel of the Lord. Curse ye bitterly the inhabitants thereof, because they come not to the help of the Lord against the mighty. Blessed also women shall Jael the wife of Hebron the night, be blessed shall she be above women in the tent, because she took a peg and put it in the head of the king. He asked water, and she gave him milk. See, that was very seductive, a very cunning way. Water wouldn't have put him to sleep, but warm milk will. And she brought forth butter in the lordly dish. She put her hand to the nail, and her right hand the workman's hammer, and with the hammer she smote Sisera, S-I-S-E-R-A. She smote off his head, and when she had pierced and struck through his temple, at her feet he bowed. He fell. He lay down. At her feet he bowed. They fall where he bowed. There he fell down dead. And the mother of Caesarea looked out at a window and cried through the lattice, Why is his chariot so long in coming? Why tarry the wheels of his chariots? Her wise ladies answered her, Yea. She returned answer to herself, Have they not spun? Have they not divided the prey, to every man a damsel or two, to Sisera a prey of divers colors, a prey of divers colors of needlework, of divers colors of needlework on both sides, net for the neck of them that took spoil? So let all thine enemies perish, O Lord, but let them that love him be as the sun, and when he goeth forth in his might, and the land hath rest 40 years. This is talking about a battle. This is describing about a battle that once happened in the valley of Jezreel. There's been many battles over there in Jezreel around Megiddo. But this particular battle is a foreshadowing, a foretelling of what will happen in Revelations at the Battle of Armageddon. In that valley again in Jezreel. When the Lord's army comes down to defeat the wickedness of this world, they will be destroyed. It says, so let all thine enemies perish, O Lord. At that valley of Jezreel, the valley of decision, that valley, that great valley, where the blood will run to the bridle bits of the horses, where once again during a mighty rainy season, and that river that looks only like a little stream, a creek right now, if you draw the pictures up, will become at a flood stage and widen breadth, covering a lot of that valley, taking over and washing the enemy away, taking their bodies, taking their tanks, taking their war equipment and washing it away, washing it downstream. It will happen one more time again at the Battle of Armageddon. It will be a way of cleansing that valley of God's enemies, of Israel's enemy. Because if you're an enemy of Israel, you're an enemy of God. With the plot that is going to be coming up, that the black priest that is now a pope from that Jesuit order will conspire after World War III happens with the Antichrist to come in and clean all this mess up, clean the valley, clean the hills, and make a pact with Israel, Germany's tanks. And I'm going to tell you something, and a lot of people may disagree, but this was revealed to me. I believe it. You study it. You either accept it or not accept it. I'm not going to argue with people, because Germany is the leopard. Germany will be the army. But Germany is Dan. I truly believe this. And Dan, at the time, that there will become a time when this Jesuit Pope and the Antichrist walks in there, makes this treaty with Israel, and the tanks of Germany will once again, because they're there now, the tanks are all over. You need to look and see that the tanks of Germany are already set up in that land, and Syria and Lebanon, and all they surrounded Iran. They're in Israel even too. Now, why would Israel let their enemy that almost destroyed them with Hitler come in and protect them in that last moment? Is because Germany backed up the peace treaty, but Germany, being the tribe of Dan, will have to redeem herself. And in the redeeming and being a part of the tribe, this is why she cannot be sealed in the 144,000. She can't. Because she has to have the opportunity to be out there, to be the revenging force to fight for Israel at the time they need her most. And she will come because she will repent and redeem herself of what happened in the past. She will redeem herself. And she will become and turn on the Antichrist, because it says that Dan will be that serpent along the roadside that will bite the horse's heel, and the rider will be thrown off. It's meaning that Antichrist will trust Germany, Dan. But when Dan fully realizes who they are and what they are, they will turn and fight for Israel. And she will bite the heel of the Antichrist's horse, and he will fall backwards. She will be there when the Almighty Yeshua HaMashiach and the great army is coming down to the rescue. When he steps on the Mount of Olives and it splits. And those people that are caught in Jerusalem during that great battle, because, see, people are going to get sick and tired of this priest sitting up there in a temple that he's rebuilt in the Holy of Holies, saying, I am God, sitting on the throne of God in the Holy of Holies, saying, I am God, I rule, now you do what I say to do. And they will gather again to fight against Jerusalem. Him. Because, see, Satan wants Jerusalem. He wants to rule on that mountain. He wants a temple there. He wants a throne in there to sit on the throne of God. There will be a short time when they will be able to celebrate all the feasts and celebrate the Sabbath. They will start sacrificing again. That will be the first agreement at the beginning. But in the middle, that thing over there sitting as a pope will walk in there and say, no more. We're going to do away with it again, like Constantine. We're going to do away with all the feasts. We're going to do away with the Sabbath. We're going to do away with all the sacrifices. We are going to do it my way. We are going to reestablish that you can only worship on Sunday, not the Sabbath. You cannot no longer have any of the feast days, so therefore you have to bring back Easter and Christmas and all this stuff. For a short period of time, it will be done away with, but it will come back. And he will demand it. It will become a law. So the people will rise against him, and they will come up to Jerusalem to fight against him, and there will be a great battle. And that's what will be happening in that great battle, the Battle of Armageddon. They're fighting to get back control of Jerusalem. And Satan will be fighting. But Yeshua will come down with his mighty army, and when he does, those people that are trapped inside of Jerusalem will escape through that valley. Some says they will go over into that city. I think they will go at one more time down to Sinai. They will climb that mountain where God spoke. They will climb that mountain where God spoke to Moses for a refuge, and the valley will open up and swallow the enemy as they chase them. Just my theory, okay? My theory. I don't think they go to Petra. I think they will go to the Mount Sinai, where God spoke, where they know that God appeared to Moses, that God physically come down on that mountain. They will run for his protection on that mountain one more time. People, I think America will have something to do with this, because we are Ephraim. Now, will Barack Obama have anything to do? Will his heart be changed in an instant? Will something happen to this man that he will change, and that he will become this Barack of old? And he will defend Israel in the valley of Jezreel also? Will our troops be over there and him giving orders that they defend? I don't know. Is it a possibility? Yes. Am I changing my attitude about the man? No, I right now, until I see those signs, no. I would probably impeach him in a heartbeat, because I see what he's doing to America. But you know what? We need to pray for this man. If he happens to be that designated leader, and I looked up this tribe. You need to go look up this tribe where Barak come from in this chapter. He came from a tribe of Israel. He did. The Barak with Deborah. I'm not talking about the one's president. But he come from a tribe of Israel. That tribe of where did I see it? Okay. Of the okay. All right, Lord, give me vision to see what I'm looking for, because I can't pronounce the word, and you know that I can't pronounce it. But, well, praise the Lord. Of Naphtali. Well, now the interesting thing, when I was looking up that tribe and where they went, you know, it says if you're a black, an American, you could be from this tribe. They consider also the biggest part of the tribe is over in Hawaii and different places. Now, when I found that out, Hawaii, well, is that what, not where he says he was born? He did come from Hawaii, though, you know. I mean, he was raised, whether he's born there or not, he was raised there. So he come from Hawaii, and I was like going, now, Lord, is this a coincidence? Or is this prophetic? Is he rising up that he will turn and fight for Israel? You see, I truly believe that Germany, when they turn, will destroy the Muslim nation over there. Will utterly, totally destroy. During World War III, there's going to be a great war over there. And it's coming soon. And in that war, and that war's not Armageddon, okay? But in that war, that it will be so destructive, it will set way for the Antichrist and the false prophet, this black Jesuit Pope, will rise up and they will go together, because that Catholic represents Rome, okay? They will go in with the Antichrist, who will rise, and they will help the world. They will wipe out disease. They will wipe out all of the financial difficulty. There will be great peace for a while there. That's why the temple will be built back. But there will be 2 witnesses standing at the Wailing Wall. They'll come out of the desert prophesying against what's going on. And they will get away with it for 3.5 years because they have power. But the Antichrist will get mad, and there was a war in heaven that spot. Satan's kicked out, and the Antichrist will be given great power from Satan, and he will go in and kill the 2 witnesses, and they will lay on the ground for 3.5 days, and then God will give them breath of life, and they'll be taken back to heaven. Then all hell breaks loose over there and around the world, because that's when Satan and that black Jesuit priest will sit in the throne of God on the Holy of Holies at that temple that they will rebuild, and that's when people will have to take the mark of the beast. That's when people will have to give allegiance to him. If not, they will die. And if you try to keep the feast days or the Sabbath day or anything that they consider as Jewish, because they will be totally against the Jewish nation, you know, Israel, they will kill you. They will behead you. They will do away with you until that time of that Jezreel, of that Battle of Armageddon, when all nations are gathered together against Jerusalem to take it back. There will be such a war and a calamity that when Jesus Christ, Yeshua, comes down, he will cleanse this earth of the wickedness and set up his kingdom for 1,000 years. Father, right now, I just see a vision of something coming. If our president, who I have just abhorred for what he stands for, Father, if it be your will be done. If his heart is to be changed, if his heart is to be melted, if he is to be turned over and used as your hand and to do the will of you, so be it, Father. Your will be done. I can only see through the natural eye and only a glimpse of what you give me that will come in the future. I have no knowledge of a person's heart. I'm not capable of that, but you are, Father, and you know what you have planned. I don't know what you have planned. I only get a little glimpse sometimes when you're gracious enough to let me see it. I know that there's something mighty in these 2 chapters. I know Deborah is a judge, a foretelling with this Barak person that she was with, is a foretelling of what will happen in these last days. It ties all in, Father. I know that, but I don't know the whole of it. But you know the whole of it. So, Father, right now I have changed my prayers about our president. If it is your will for his heart to be changed, if it is your will for he to go and humble himself before you and change his attitude, change his personality, change his ideals about Muslims and things, if it is your will that he change and come to you and humble himself and fight for Israel, so be it. And I glorify your holy name. For it is your plan, your path, and your will to be done. Not human beings, but yours. And you've already laid it out. I know this. I know this, Father. And it is for the good of your people. For the wickedness will be destroyed and wiped off this earth, and only the righteous will be standing. And Father, make your people righteous and holy. Change our hearts from hate and bitterness to love and forgiveness and mercy. Change us to that seed of Yeshua that has been planted us. For you have begotten us as your sons and daughters. You have planted that seed of Yeshua HaMashiach within us, that it would grow, and that Yeshua would overtake us, and that we would become with him. And by becoming one with him, we will become one with you. Father, make us righteous as you are righteous. Make us holy as you are holy. Father, I ask this decree on this Sabbath day in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen and amen.